been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony back with another episode of the One Hell of Life Outdoor Podcast. And today we got Sean Caps, owner of Caps Ridge Waterfowl, and he lives up in Virginia. He is a officer, and we've been following each other on social media for a while, and he happened to reach out and be like, hey, man, you want to connect on a podcast? I was like, yep, let's do it. So after we tried last week, and I got stuck in traffic, and we had to reschedule to this week, but finally connected on it, and we're excited to have you on. Sean, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on. It's great to be able to connect with you guys and chat a little bit about hunting and whatever we get into.
Yeah, no, and Tristan, just for the record, if you don't ask me how I'm doing anymore at the beginning of the podcast, you're grounded.
Yeah. Okay, so quick little thing about that, like little insight to, so when you're like coming up with an intro to like the podcast or whatever, like I always, it's still just, it feels like weird to be like, hey man, how you doing? Like,
right.
It's just,
hey Tony.
Because it's like, I talk to you off air. I know how you're doing. Like, I have to ask you how you're doing.
Yeah, you don't want to, and Tristan's like so authentic that, yeah, literally, I know the thing that makes you nervous about that is just the fact that it's not authentic.
Well, it's just like awkward. I'm like, I don't need to ask you how you're doing. I'm just going to start the podcast.
Well, just so you guys know, I'm doing great.
Well, you didn't ask me how I'm doing.
Well, hey, bud.
How come I always ask you how you're doing? You don't ask me how
I don't.
doing?
You know what? Next week.
It's your job to ask him how he's doing.
Yeah,
that's right. So because you should be more concerned about how I'm doing. Because I'm 52 and you're 28.
Yeah, true. No, I'm 27.
27. Damn it. Well, that's a good thing because I was just thinking, and I got off of my years again. Of course, quick joke going back several years. Tristan told me I was a certain age one year, and I didn't think twice about it. I was just like, damn, I'm getting old, and then one day about 3 months later, I did the math and I go, wait a minute, I'm a year younger than that, and I was like, son of a gun. Well, then just the other day I was thinking, damn, Tristan's 28, and I was like, now I know what my mom's talking about, going like when she's telling me I can't believe you're 50. I'm sitting there going, dude, he's still at Bartram Trail High School. How's he 30? You know what I mean? And, I think. So anyway, but life goes fast, man. But no, this is all about you, man. So if you don't mind, just giving everybody a little bit of an introduction of who you are. Talk about your wife, because I know she does some magic for you behind the scenes. You said, and and thank you for your service, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, as Tristan said, my name's Sean Caps. I've been in law enforcement going on 6 years now. Started in a local sheriff's office, was with them for 5 years, made the switch this past December to Virginia Military Institute as a police officer there. Love it. Always had the knack for law enforcement. Both my parents are retired special agents with the FBI. So kind of was always going to be in some kind of law enforcement capacity. Thought about going military. That ended up not working out, but really enjoy doing what I've done in my career in law enforcement so far. I moved to Lexington, Virginia back in 2007. Grew up before that in Northern Virginia. Never really got into hunting until my senior year of college, actually. I had two roommates my senior year who were big into deer hunting down at Radford University, and they got me into it. I bought my first bow, which was a Parker. And
good bow.
Ever since then, I've been super into hunting. Deer hunted since, what would have that been, 2017, 2018. And then I met my now wife in 2020, and she's actually the one that got me into waterfowl hunting. She had always wanted to try it. I had never really gotten into it. And so I had a buddy he would go to different ponds and different locations around Lexington, and went with him a couple of times, and then got got the bug for it. So one of my former coworkers, he's from Easton, Maryland. And we now, him and a couple other buddies, we go all over Maryland and try to go some places around here for mainly geese around here. We don't get many ducks in this part of Virginia, but we'll go up to Maryland, the western part, the eastern part, and whether it's hunting ponds, or we'll go out to the eastern shore and get on the Chesapeake and do some sea duck hunting. Just try and get into it as much as we can. So, and so my wife, she's a professional photographer on the side. She is also a child social worker. So that's her daylight job. Her after hours job is going doing equestrian photography. She also does weddings. That's cool. And yeah. So she grew up riding horses. She still does. And
what a beautiful place to do it in Virginia.
Oh yeah, and where we live in Lexington, you have the Virginia Horse Center, which is a massive horse center 15 minutes away from our house, where she can go and do a lot of photography and also ride there as well. So awesome. So it's been quite, I mean, as the name of your guys' podcast, One Hell of a Life, it's been one hell of a life so far, and I'm just very blessed to be raised where I've been raised and how I've been raised, and find God and really just enjoy everything that I'm doing, have done, and will continue to do.
Well, I think one thing that sticks out that's cool about your guys, just hearing the backstory about you guys, is with your wife being in social work and you being an officer, like you guys are both in positions that are really selfless,
serving the community
at the end of the day. So it makes sense why you guys make a good team, you know? And, you know, from a hunting standpoint, you know, I got to know, you know, starting as a bow hunter, like we always thought, because our journey into hunting was similar, you know, just always bow hunting. And we didn't get into waterfowl until, you know, like 2014, 2015 in Florida. And I think starting with deer hunting creates a lot more patience for those like bad days.
Bow hunting. Listen up, guys. Waterfowl season will be here before you know it. So book a hunt today. Williamson Outfitters offers exceptional duck hunting along Florida's Forgotten Coast, targeting redheads, bluebills, buffleheads, canvasbacks, and much, much more. Lodging and fishing packages are also available. Mention the One Hell of a Life podcast when booking and get 15% off your next trip. Spots are filling up fast, so call or text Captain Chris at 850-251-8650 or visit floridaducks.com.
Bow hunting in particular creates a lot of patience when you get into duck hunting.
You're like, what a breeze, right?
when we first started, it was like, man, if we could just get like that one new species. So like, I'm curious to know like what your thought is on that. Like, do you feel like it made you a more patient waterfowl hunter?
100%. Yeah. It's funny. I'll go with some guys, and we might not see a single bird sometimes, and I'm just glad that I don't have to sit there and be quiet the entire time. I'm a chatty Cathy, and I like to talk. So deer hunting, I can't do that. So with waterfowl hunting, it's just the atmosphere of being able to be in a blind with a bunch of your buddies, and just being able to talk and just shoot the shit. And then some mornings somebody brings a stove and somebody's making breakfast while we're waiting for the birds to come in. I mean, it just, the idea behind it just fits so well for me. And but back to the deer hunting, it 100% just the patience that with bow hunting and just waiting. I mean, I've had quite a few times deer that just don't even want to come in close enough to take a shot. And the patience that you got to have, you guys know. I mean, it's great, much greater in my opinion than say waterfowl hunting, because you do have that talking aspect that you can just entertain yourself with somebody else versus just sit there and wait.
Absolutely.
You know, something I never thought about.
What's that?
You know, I was filming you this weekend on opening weekend, so it's a different mindset, I guess.
Yeah, our deer season just came in this past weekend.
But
I saw.
yeah, but you know, the next time that I'm hunting, I'm just gonna imagine that 5 other people are sitting next to me, and I'm just gonna talk with no sound.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, "Did you? Oh
Well,
my God!" And
I think that's how you keep yourself entertained anyway.
oh, dude, I was entertained. Listen, I don't mean to spin off, but what was hilarious, really, and this is from, you know, we all want to harvest an animal, right?
Oh yeah.
But, you know, of course, there's an aspect of...
Can I add something real quick? Just for people listening, this is September 18th, and this is probably going to come out around like the 30th of September. So just keep that in mind.
right on. So, you know, so we go in and, you know, it's amazing, you know, because, of course, the immediate benefit, if I'm being selfish, is the fact that I've got my boy with me, you know. I can't beat that. You know, it's what I've looked forward to all my life, you know, before he was even here. I used to tell his mom, I was like, I can't wait, you know, and then I sit across the podcast table from me, and it's not real. It's not real. I've teleported in from a different planet, and it's not real. But here's the
I'm definitely envious of that. That's for sure.
Well, you know, and the thing is that, you know, I can sit there, and a deer doesn't have to come by, you know, and he and I just, we approach it in such an innocent way. You know, and Tristan just, it depends on how much time you've spent in the woods, I guess, no matter your age, because I've met some young people, what I would call young 18, 19-year-old people that, to me, talking to them, they sounded like they were 35. You know, I mean, just their experience in the woods, you know. But here's the thing is that, you know, we weren't that worried about harvesting an animal. You know, we weren't out there going, oh, dude, I'm going to shoot Mr. Giant today, you know, or I'm going to get some meat. We were just kind of, it's probably one of the first seasons that we just kind of just said, let it be what it is. And, you know, we went out there, and the funniest thing, the most entertaining thing outside of the circus being there, which you guys you'll see that we had a circus. We're the first people in history. I want you guys to hear this, because you know what? You can't fact check me. All right, you can go on Snopes, you can do whatever the hell you want, but I'm going to tell you this: we are the first hunting brand in the history of hunting to have a circus next to our tree stand, somewhat.
Yeah.
On
the same property.
Tristan's being respectful by saying 400 yards. From the stage, it was 400 yards, but from the porta potties and the folks traveling and everything, it was definitely less. It was probably more like 250. But it was an incredible experience, and we saw deer. You guys will see that. But that last day, we're sitting there, and it wasn't much after dark or much after light, and I look up, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I'm like, it's been a minute since I've seen one of these come through the woods, and he's coming right at us. And it's not a cat. it's definitely not a cat. Pepe Le Pew showed up, and I'm filming him. I'm like, what cool footage. You know, dude, I can get a skunk, you know, on a deer hunt. I'm just, because I do birds, squirrels, you know, whatever. I filmed these Algerian acorns. I mean, whatever, right? And this guy's giving me a cameo experience, you know, and dude, that did it for me. But then as soon as he gets by us, and Tristan and I are giggling and laughing the whole time. Tristan can't even keep a straight face because he's trying to upload TikTok and just cracking up the whole time. And I go, this isn't good. And he goes, what? And I go, I think this is a sign. I think we're going to get skunked. And no lie, we truly got skunked that day.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I mean, you can put a deer feeder out there, you can put your apple, whatever, your food plots and all that stuff. But guess what? If a skunk comes by, I'm a myth I'm a myth builder
Well, I
by
think
saying that just go home.
the moral of the story, and I'm sure you can relate to this, Sean, is like there's so many aspects to hunting that aren't about killing that just kind of make the experience, like you were just saying, talking with your buddies in the blind, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's a circus, sometimes it's a skunk.
Yeah, and it's just great too, because it's like you guys can have that memory for the two of you. Like I remember on some deer hunts by myself, like some of the memories are just it's just so great to be able to be out, and we're just so blessed to be able to do this as a pastime, to be able to go hunt and just sit in the woods and just take that all in. It's just,
And especially you and your wife.
Yeah. So that was, I got the kind of the best experience I've had so far into taking somebody hunting. 2 years ago, I took her. We had gone a couple of times throughout us being together, but 2 years ago, I actually got her on her first deer, and it was a little 5-point buck. But that was the first deer she ever killed.
Hell
so
yeah.
she
That's awesome.
She has me beat. I mean, I killed doe after doe after doe before I killed my first buck. So, and she'll remind me of that. That's for sure.
Hey, bro,
but
you're preaching to the choir. We say shoot the spike.
But yeah, so took her out there, and it was during rifle season. I didn't think about telling her that the Vortex scope had you could change the magnification on it. And so she's about 250 yards away from this buck and laying prone in the grass and takes a shot. And
Do you guys
no joke,
spot and stalk
Dude,
it?
sniper style.
So we were sitting next to a big oak tree out in the middle of this field, this hay field that I had permission to hunt on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was expecting the deer to come in a totally different way that they did, of course, and came over our right shoulder. So we were trying to move around, which we did. So we were laying in the middle of this hay field, spot and stalk style. And she ends up getting ready. She takes the shot. It takes, I don't know how many steps, not very many, and just drops. And I'm dying laughing. I'm more excited than she is. I'm like laughing, so excited. We get up to it. She's super excited when we get to it because she sees that it's down. And I look at the gun. Next thing I know, it's set to 5 power. I'm like, did you really just shoot that? And no joke, she shot perfect heart shot.
Dude, and well, when I first heard you say 250 yards, like I don't know hardly anything about gun hunting, but like I shot my first deer with a gun last year and it was 125 yards, and like just double that distance and not be zoomed in all the way. Like, holy cow.
Yeah. It's a 25 power scope, and she's zoomed into like 5 or 6 power.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I'm sitting there and just, okay, you win. You win. So
it's meant to be.
Yeah. But that experience, just being able to see her excitement, let alone my excitement of watching her kill that deer, it definitely was. Tony, you were talking about how you were always so excited to take Tristan hunting and everything, and that's what I aspire and look forward to when we have kids one day, is being able to take them out and introduce them into my passion of hunting, whether it's deer or waterfowl or whatever. I didn't have that luxury when I was growing.
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
Growing up, I taught myself how to, a lot of YouTube videos actually, and talking to buddies when I was in college. But after my dad fighting in Vietnam, he was in the FBI. He did carry a gun, special agent and everything, but he went away from hunting. He has never been a hunter since that. Because as we know, Vietnam, those guys, they saw a lot of things and were a part of a lot of things that definitely scarred those guys. So, but being able to get out there and teach myself and stuff, and one day being able to give that back to son, daughter, or whatever my wife and I have, I mean, it's definitely what I'm really looking forward to in the long run.
Yeah, no, I can relate to a lot of what you're saying from a couple different perspectives because, one, from just the aspect of like getting somebody that you love to enjoy what you love. And that's what I've been lucky enough to do with my wife too in the last couple of years with duck hunting.
Well, I think Katie said it best, dude. I mean, on our podcast and hearing it from somebody, and I'm sure his wife has said the same thing. It's neat when you hear somebody say that they get to share the experience of something that the person they loves to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, there's definitely that's just an amazing thing to be a part of. And then once they get to where they enjoy it and want to go again, it's amazing. But I think the other thing that resonates with me is just talking about not having, and we talk about this a lot on the podcast, and that's really one of the things that pisses me off about like Facebook groups or like, people that post innocent questions on forums or whatever it might be and just get roasted. Like
kids get roasted.
It drives me nuts because like to your point, Sean, like, and I've experienced it now is like growing up with like the background in deer hunting. Like I have had years of hand-me-down knowledge and understanding, everything about deer movement and, you name it, body, how they're acting, all that stuff, And when it came to waterfowl or like even most recently, like turkey, I didn't know anything. So I'm just we didn't know anything. So just taking it from a standpoint of completely innocent, like how do I learn the sport? So I understand both sides of that coin. And that's really kind of what prompted us to want to do a podcast and all that. But I totally resonate with that, man. Cause it's like to not have a teacher really and have to teach yourself a lot of this stuff. It's pretty daunting. And I think that's why a lot of people kind of just give up, and it's kind of unfortunate that, a lot of people just get discouraged because not having that success,
Well, and I just want to chime in on this because this is really relevant. I sent Tristan a screenshot today, being honest, and Zach, if you're listening, we appreciate it, man. I won't say his last name just to protect his privacy, but what he said was in this post, it was just amazing. And he said, why I want to learn to hunt. He said, I think there's a few reasons. Now imagine this. When you're just at that stage, okay? One being that I want to gain a better understanding of the natural world around me. Yes, I'm going to school for outdoor conservation, but I want to build upon that understanding. I would also like to learn something new and learn from experienced hunters and gain a better understanding of the sport as a whole. Lastly, the dogs. I imagine it is a beautiful sight to see a dog do what it is bred to do. Dude.
Yeah,
that's
poetry.
Deep.
Oh, dude,
that is so deep.
Dude, I could not say, I said, love it, Zach. I said, we're here to help anytime, bud. I mean, my goodness, how innocent and brave. Honestly, with the way Tristan, I'm sorry to interrupt, it's just when you talked about that, how brave for him just to stick his neck out. And I haven't followed up on the post yet, but if I see anybody on there trashing him, I'm going to their house.
Oh yeah, because he's already wanting to learn about it because he's taking the time to study about it for school.
Right.
And then let alone he wants to continue to learn more, and he's asking those questions that a lot of people don't have the gumption to ask because they don't want to get put down or get told that they're an idiot or whatnot. And I give him all the credit in the world because I never did that.
No.
And I don't think I would because of those reasons.
Yeah. And that's interesting. And I've never talked about this actually in the podcast, but I guess I haven't dwelled on it. I haven't yearned on it. And that is this, back when I was growing up, you got into hunting because of the people that you had a physical social network with. And Tristan and I always talk about how we've been so dedicated to growing this business organically, and while I was trying to I have a sales background and I'm wanting to push things in a numbers direction. Tristan's always kind of pulling back on the reins a little bit, and saying, hey, I don't care if we have 70,000 followers. I care about the 1,000 or whatever it is, or 100. We've always said, when we were first getting started, I remember when we got 50 followers and I told the guys, I go, dude, let me tell you something. To social media, this means nothing. I go, but right now, if we had those 50 people in our backyard, I'd be pooping my pants. I'd be like, holy cow. So I'm going two ways with this. One point is the way that the sport was spread was through literature. It was spread through TV, and it was spread through organically through people, sharing these experiences, trying to get somebody else in the hunt. Social media, and we did a podcast a long time ago about this, and maybe it's time to revisit it, Tristan, has done, while it's been a lot of bad things, it's done a lot of great things, is also to be able to capture I almost said his last name, but to capture people like that is just an incredible experience, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just great that he did say those things, because I mean that just opens up such great conversation too.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. And with Caps Ridge Waterfowl, what kind of prompted you guys want to start that? And what's kind of the goal on there? I was reading up on it, and it's talking about you guys want to have like gear that's usable for the outdoor, usable for waterfowlers. That's good and stuff. And what's kind of the passion?
I mean, the passion behind it is just how passionate I've become with waterfowl, and just how much it's the gear is geared more towards apparel, not necessarily gear bags or anything like that at this point. And just mainly just being able to put out there, because there are plenty of people that do it, but just put out there from somebody that pretty much started from not knowing anything, and that being able to show, say for example, Zach, that you can learn it off of watching YouTube videos and teaching yourself and just getting out there and just sitting at a pond or sitting along a river or wherever and just taking the time and just putting in that kind of work. You don't have to spend tons of money. You don't have to pay tons of money to go to these outfitters and to these different locations. You can do it yourself. And how rewarding that is once say Joe goes out and he kills his first ever duck on his own, how rewarding that is versus just going on a outfit, which 100%. Nevertheless, that's a great thing too, is being able to do that. But just from that aspect of things, just being able to go out and showing, just from whether it's a Instagram post or it's a reel or whatever it is, just showing that we're going out there, and whether we kill anything or not, just sitting there and taking everything in that God has given, and just really just enjoying life, because it's such a fickle thing, such a short thing, and just you need to enjoy every minute of it.
I think that's a good thing to lean into, Sean, too, because I just think, especially in like the brand, like outdoor apparel kind of like scene, like I feel like I'm trying to think like the best way to like articulate what I'm trying to say, but like I feel like so many of these brands, like, and I love a lot of these brands, but like there's so much pressure to be like, everyone's like, oh, I'm this killer, and like I just freaking smack ducks all the time, and like I feel like there's so much pressure to be kind of like that. And I think the aspect that you're taking it from is like, hey, you can just like teach yourself this stuff, and like that whole innocent kind of aspect resonates a lot with us, and I think that's a good thing to lean into, you know.
Well, just have fun. Just have fun. It's not about again goes
Not
back
about
to social
killing,
media. It's not about killing, and it's not about the pile. It's not about the pile at all. It's about just going out there. If you go with people or if you go by yourself, if you go with people, just being able to go out there and just have a good time, the laughs. I mean, I remember I have more memories of after the hunts or the night before the hunts than I do of the actual hunts.
Absolutely.
It just, that is my favorite part, is just hanging out and just having that duck camp time.
Mm-hmm. And to your other point too, you know, I think one thing we've had to kind of learn how to balance, like, because really our main thing is like YouTube, and really all along it's kind of been trying to grow the YouTube and just put out the reality of hunting. And also, you know, with this podcast being a big piece of that too. But one thing that we've really had to juggle with is, like, as we have grown and opportunities have arisen, like, or arose, or connections have came around, like, we've had opportunities to hunt with outfitters and things like that. And to your point, like, it's a blessing and great opportunities to do things like that. But we've always thought that the problem with those experiences is that somebody else is running the show the whole time. So like, what are you really learning? Because it's like, you're not having the opportunity to make your own mistakes. You're not having the opportunity to, like, change the decoys yourself and, like, call these birds. So like, that's the one thing we find ourselves craving. And no disrespect to any of the outfitters that we work with and love to hunt at. It's just that there's that side of it too. And I think just having a balance of both might be the ultimate, you know, which is a lot of, you know, what most hunters do. You know, they take one trip a year and they go out and hunt in Arkansas or wherever. And then the rest of the time they're just grinding that public land, you know?
Yeah. Well, and let's face it, you know, everybody's in a different situation, right? And they have a different desire and role when it comes to the sport. Number one base of this sport is, it's one of the most unique sports outside of gambling that you're going to lose money at. All right.
It's really just like gambling, but there's less odds of return, maybe.
Yeah. So
I'm looking at right now a 20-foot enclosed trailer, a brand new truck that I just had to play. I don't know about down where you are. Sorry to get off topic, but where y'all are in Georgia, do you guys have personal property tax?
Yes.
Or even, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So we do too up in Virginia, and it's terrible. And I made the unfortunate decision last December to buy a brand new Chevy 2500, and very recently just got my personal property tax of over $2,000 to pay the county just to own that. Yeah. I mean,
we had to pay. They have a thing here in Georgia, and I might mess up the initials, but it's called a TVAT tax or TAV tax. It's one of those abbreviations. And so basically, when you move here from another state, you have to pay this, like, I call it a damn penalty. You know what I mean? I mean, really, like, for my truck, I've got a 2018 Ford F-150. It's lifted and everything, but that doesn't go by any of that. It just goes by the current market value of an F-150 FX4. And, you know, I had to pay like $3,200. You know, and I'm like,
in penalties.
Yeah, in penalties, you know, but no,
sorry to get off topic on that.
No, I forgot where I was going with what I was talking about. Where are we at? Circle me back in, young man.
I think you were talking about the gambling of the sport.
Yeah. So when it comes to the waterfowl in its real true reality, you know, it is hard work. It is way harder work than you'll ever do deer hunting. I mean, we haven't spent any time elk hunting, so it could be comparable to that physically. I'm not sure, but
I think that's a big. No, well, I think elk's got to be king.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference between a mountain and a marsh. All right, I mean, I think it's just two different. I mean, from a physical, being physically able perspective, I definitely would be elk. I mean, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Cam Haynes is such a badass, you know, but, you know, it does take hard work. And I think the best thing that we have that we've ever videoed that shows that is it's called Teal Heaven. And I'm not speaking about, I actually just came to my mind. I'm not speaking about it just because it's teal season, but
Or to toot our own horn.
yeah, in order to toot our own horn. It was public land. We met up with 10 other guys on a dike. And
wasn't planned.
Wasn't planned at all. We all knew what we saw in this desert of a sawgrass marsh. And we slept out on the dike together. We struggled through everything it took to get there, like 700 yards of
Jeez.
it will kill you type of slop.
Yeah, just to your knee every step.
Yeah, we had a poor guy hunter that was a 350-pound college lineman, trying to make it. And at the beginning of that video you watch, and it shows even the dog slipping off of a plank that we had. If anybody slipped off that plank, no lie, it would have been a survival situation because of the depth of that salt is what you call it.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's just Georgia mud, man. I mean, country songs talk about Georgia mud,
Yeah.
So it was an incredible experience with people, and it shows how hard. And we have it in our hearts for the rest of our life. And that's why I'm so thankful that we got to put this out to people is, man, it was that one day when everybody was living right, and actually not one day, it was 2 days. We shot, I think it was 178 birds.
Whoa.
No. I'm sorry, 100. It was 100 and something.
No, it was like, so the first day there was 16 guys. And their 10 all limited out, so they had 60. And we shot like 30. We didn't quite limit out with our 6 guys. So I think we shot like 82 birds.
I think it was 78 actually, but
or whatever. Yeah, it was between 16 guys. And then the next day they were like, "Oh, we're good," and we went back in there and shot a 6-man. 5 or 6 man the next day.
So it was over 100 something birds. But the key was the unity. The second day, we loaned a mojo to some guys that we're still great friends with today. That loaning of the mojo and watching them smoke them is like life worthy for us, my God, and to be friends with those guys today was so organic, back to what we was talking about earlier, and man, it's just amazing what you can do when you put a lot of brains together and work hard for something. And those folks are out there. Those folks are out there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the reality of what we're trying to do in the sport. And like Tristan was saying, not taking anything away from any outfitters or anything, but we all have a different path that we have to follow. And if you're a serious businessman or work, you work hard for your family and man, you don't have time to do nothing. Bro, I totally agree with you taking an outfitter perspective.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I mean, just go do it.
We do, me and my buddies, we do, this past year was my first year, but we do a snow goose hunt every year.
Sweet, man.
Dude.
They've been doing it for a couple years. They got me involved in it this past year. My wife, Tori, actually went with us. Unfortunately, we did not. It was up in Delaware. We didn't this past year. We flunked out on it, unfortunately. But she got a lot of those pictures on the Instagram page are from that. But we're going back up this next year, and we do a outfitter with that because that's a fun time.
Dude, did you say Delaware?
Yeah.
'Cause they get them in the Northeast.
So the guide will follow them down all the way from up super far northeast, and then he'll follow them down, the birds down, and he'll take clients out in different states along the way.
Isn't that freaking cool, dude? I had no idea. Look, I guided snow goose in Northeast Arkansas last year for almost 3 weeks and learned a ton about it.
That's awesome.
And dude, by learning a ton of it, I'll tell you what, man. Those are the hardest birds, dude. And go ahead.
We struck out, but I'll tell you, we saw, I don't know how many thousands of them up in the flyway, just flying over us constantly. And I will say, they are some smart freaking birds.
Man, aren't they? But I learned a lot about them and stuff. But I know that I didn't know that there was a snow goose population. I assumed, I guess, that there was a snow goose population on the Atlantic flyway, only because one of our good sponsors of the podcast, Williamson Outfitters, he's got a pretty good streak going, of at least getting one the last several years.
Well, it's and not even just him. Just it's been interesting down here down in Florida. I forget we're not down there anymore, but there's you hear of a few getting killed every year, and it's always interesting because it's like, man, they sure strayed quite a way.
Yeah, they went a ways out of the way.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you hear something off the wall like that.
No, yeah, that's I look forward to that hunt this coming up year, because striking out this past year, it's definitely fueled me for this coming up year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese, but now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable wader technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024?
We're fortunate enough, me and the group of guys, we're going out to North Dakota. Actually, it's about a month out now.
Oh, nice, man.
That along with sitting in the blind, planning these kinds of trips and stuff, and the preparation and everything, and getting everything figured out has been an absolute blast too. So we're actually driving straight out there.
Oh my God. What is that? Like 30 hours?
It will be about 24 when we're done with it. one way, about 1,600 miles one way. So
are you guys playing not it on the truck that you're taking?
So we're taking, it'll be a couple trucks. I'm hauling my 20-foot enclosed trailer out there with, we're putting 4-wheeler in it, a whole bunch of decoys, you name it, in there, which breaking in the new truck, so it better hold up.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, so that should be an absolute blast. I've never been out there.
Are y'all just freelancing?
Yeah, so there's a couple of the guys have been out there before, so they're kind of heading it up as far as where to go and whatnot. But for the most part, none of us have been out there, and we're just going to go try to make it what we can.
That's beautiful, and man. I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, as I go back to, like, I'm not the type of person that I just want to go and have fun. I don't care about killing anything. So if we don't see a single thing, I can at least check off that I've been through, I don't know how many states trying to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long are you guys going to be out there?
We'll be out there, I think we'll be hunting for 6 straight days. And then we'll leave on, I'd say, like a Thursday, Friday, and then we'll be back on a Sunday. So
nice.
It'll be pedal to the metal getting out there, and then we'll probably be the same coming back, because a bunch of us have to work that following Monday, so we'll all be half asleep at work. But it lucks out for me for my work schedule. I only have to actually take off 5 total days that entire trip.
Oh, so that's awesome, man.
The way we work 12-hour shifts, so I only actually have to take off 5 days, which is really nice.
Yeah, because I guess you could work, in theory, like a 3 or 4 day week and get you right. I mean, or how's that work?
Yeah, so the way our schedule works is we'll have a long week and a short week. So my long week is this week right now, what we're in this current week. I worked Monday, Tuesday, 12-hour shifts. I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, so today and tomorrow, and then I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Gotcha.
And 12-hour shifts. That Sunday, I actually, those 12 hours, 4 of those hours go into overtime, hours, because you can only work however many hours a month, 160 hours a month or something like that. Or 180 hours. Math is not my strong suit. That's why I'm a police officer. And then my short week, I'm off Monday, Tuesday. I work a Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I get 3-day weekends every other weekend, which is very nice. So it just, that really helps out if I need to take vacation or anything like that. Usually try to plan it around my short week, but for big trips like this, you really just plan it whenever you can.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. I'm glad that's working out that way. Cause I mean, all of us, unless you're, just like a millionaire or something, all of us are kind of playing that game, where it's like trying to maximize our time. It's like, man, can we go around New Year's so we get that extra day off? And you know what I mean? Like,
No, it's definitely fun to try and figure all that out.
The last time I remember Tristan having this deep, it almost like it did actually. It shook me out mentally, where I couldn't think and that was a couple years back on the last day of duck season in Arkansas. We got there, the Friday before, whatever. And Kade tells us, we ain't hunting in the morning. It's all frozen. It's going to be a waste of time. We're going to go out there whatever it was later in the day. And I had so much anxiety because it was just a limited amount of time off, right, that you have. And I'm just like, bro, if I'm I don't give a shit if it's frozen or not, dude. Just put me out there in the pit, and maybe I'll get one sliding in on ice. I don't care, but of course, he had a reason behind all that, and
that story's lived in infamy because Kade won't let you live that down.
No, he won't. And
he's like, Jesus, Tony, it's like I've done this shit before.
Yeah, it's like he's like, dude, will you shut up? Basically, and I've got a 27-year-old guy telling me to shut up, and I'm like, man, he has been doing this all his life, and I do need to shut up. And sure enough, we went out there like he said he would, and rocked them. And
we went out at noon, and
it was one of those things that was so good. He called family, and he's like, you better get over here right now, right now. Yeah, we're gonna rock them.
There was 5,000 ducks just chilling.
Jeez, right. I don't even know what I would do if I saw that many ducks.
Oh, in every species that you could think of. I mean, really, wow. It was. And honestly, it was in our early GoPro times, so we really don't have the best footage of it, but it was an incredible experience.
I wish to God that we had the camera set up we do now, because so many times when we're hunting, it's difficult filming situations, whether it be in a pit blind or you're, I don't even know, in the marsh or whatever. But this was, we were laying on a side of a levee and layout blinds, and you were just so tucked in there good. I mean, the
grass was tall.
You were in the shadows, and those birds, man, sometimes when the way they would turn, you could get the light on them and stuff, and it was just a sunny day but cold as hell.
Yeah.
And if we had it would be an incredible video. I mean, we shot an 8-man limit. It was freaking awesome. And man, I'm sure it'll happen one of these years again, but man, that was cool.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. No, so let me ask you this. So when you're talking about hunting geese in Virginia, are you guys hunting lessers, graders, both? Or, because I do know that there's some whatchamacallits out there, but they're more along the coast. Brants.
Some Brants, yeah. So pretty much we don't see any Brants around here, because if you're familiar with Lexington, Rockbridge County area, it's on the western side of the Blue Ridge, so we don't really see any of that. We don't even really see a whole lot of geese. One of my buddies today found a feed of about 200, and that's pretty good for around here.
Yeah,
And it's I would say more graders than anything else. But majority of them here, especially right now being September season, it's mainly all residents. We haven't really been seeing a whole lot moving in yet. So we're finally starting to get some cooler weather up here, which has been great. Right now, actually, I'm standing outside and it's probably right around 70 degrees, which is
beautiful.
I hate the hot weather, which y'all down in Atlanta,
I
feel for y'all.
It's been nice recently, but man, we're about to get a string of 4 86-degree days. I'm like,
oh God, I feel for y'all, because I think we might be on the other end of things now, being cool and off, which is going to be great. So,
awesome.
But yeah,
I do look forward to the fact that I mean, we got a cool down about a week ago or whatever, and it was one of those, like Tristan and I are texting each other in the morning going, oh man, you can feel it. You can feel it coming,
Well, this weekend, opening weekend, man, it didn't get over maybe like 75.
Oh, it was one of the cooler ones we've had.
It was kind of just spit and rain the whole weekend, and it was just never got hot really. It was nice.
It was nice. Breeze, all that
really
stuff.
Nice.
And I just knew, I was like, man, there's going to be one more little hurrah with the heat. It's definitely going to be.
Oh, it never fails.
Yeah.
It never fails. We'll probably get it too at some point. I mean, I don't doubt it at all. But this weather definitely makes me look forward to hunting season coming up. And well, we're kind of in it now with September, but just in general, getting out there. We do right around Christmas, right after Christmas, we do go out to the Eastern Shore and do some sea duck hunting, which is a whole beast of its own.
Sure.
No calling, no nothing, just lay in the layout boat and wait for them to just come buzz you.
Right.
So
man, you're exactly right. That's a beast of its own. What do you guys usually shoot out there? Is it just like scotters, redhead, or bluebills and stuff?
Mainly, yeah. So so I started going with them 2 years ago. So mainly we're shooting a lot of scoters, commons, and surfs. We get a few longtails.
Oh, cool. You got a picture of one on your Instagram.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I love them. That's my favorite bird that I've killed so far, which I don't have really many on my list of different species yet. But that's just such a beautiful bird. And then bufflehead. We will get some divers here and there. I've actually never really killed anything other than bufflehead, diver wise. But yeah, so we that's where I really got introduced into really waterfowl hunting with just getting out in the layout boat, which they have a 2-man layout boat, so you have somebody to hang out with, and but we make it a friendly competition because it's 4 of us that will go. So 2 guys will be in the tender boat, and we have radios that will talk in between us, and it's you miss a duck, you're in for a world of hurt.
Which isn't it's super easy to be in a layout boat when you're rocking and shoot something flying by.
yeah let alone being in a stable blind on ground and being able to just put your gun up, shoulder your shotgun, and be able to just take a shot. And if you miss that, that's one thing, but you're in a boat where it's rocking back and forth, up and down, side to side, and next thing you know, you got a bird flying at you like a freaking teal.
Yeah.
At the speed of a teal, and you're trying to get in front of it. And I'll tell you, we went after some big ducks while we were there this last year, one of our last days, and we had some black ducks come in, and we were all leading them about a foot too far. We all looked at each other after that, and it was, what in the world happened there? But
that would have been cool.
Yeah. So it's a fun time out there, getting out. We also try and go up every year to the Eastern Waterfowl Festival in Easton. And that's a fun time. They have it the same weekend as the November opener for Maryland. So you get a ton of people on the Eastern Shore of Maryland for opener. We went last year, opening Saturday, because you can't hunt Sundays in Maryland. So we went out that morning. We got out there probably right around 4:00 to the boat ramp with my Excel, and we thought we were going to be good. We had gone scouting the night before and found an area we wanted to hunt. We got in there the next morning, and there was probably 15 boats already there.
Oh, man.
Like, well, so we ended up taking the boat to an area and then having to walk about 200 yards through marsh and just not fun stuff. Tori, my wife, went with us, and she's having to trek through it, and she almost gets stuck in a bog at one point, and I get stuck in a bog. It was just one heck of a time. So, but we had fun. We had some teal come in, and then didn't really see anything more the rest of the morning.
Yeah, man. It's that's when you go hunt a new area, I think one of the things that's hard is like it's hard to beat that kind of like local boy knowledge, you know?
Oh yeah. And
it doesn't matter where you go. I mean, if you are traveling outside of your backyard, you're gonna run into people that know the game, and but no, that sounds cool, man. We have you heard of Pit Boss Waterfowl?
Yeah.
We had him on the podcast at the end of last year, and I think he hunts up there in Maryland. And,
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does. He's huge into the sea duck world. I mean, that's what his guiding service is.
Right.
Yeah, he was actually at the last 2 years I went to the Waterfowl Festival. He's there. So
isn't those waterfowl festivals a blast?
Oh my gosh, yeah, they are just. Let alone getting all the gear coming in and everything. Just the atmosphere around it is awesome, and the history and everything that goes around it. I mean, the whole town of Easton, the whole actual like city part of it, just they shut it down, and they have galleries set up with different artwork, and I mean, it's a great time.
Wow, yeah, just a true part of the culture there, huh?
Oh yeah. So, but
no, that's great, man. We're super excited because Thanksgiving weekend this year we're going to hunt the Panhandle of Florida, and it's with one of our, not to name drop again, but one of the sponsors of the podcast, Williamson Outfitters. We originally went out there, I guess it was 2020. But
because my son gave me a birthday present.
Yeah, so I had
I was like, holy shit.
What had happened was I think our buddy Mario and Drew went out and hunted opening day and had success out there. I think Mario bought like a Ducks Unlimited hunt out there with Chris or something.
Mm-hmm. He won it in a raffle.
Yeah, so that's how he got it. And that it went good and stuff. So later in the season, we're like, man, what are we going to do? This like gap in our schedule, and I was like, I just on a whim was like, all right, we're going to book with Williamson Outfitters and see if we can't get a redhead or whatever. Went out there, had a great time. Didn't get redheads, but we got a bunch of buffle heads and stuff, and had a great time. And, as things progress or whatever, we had an opportunity to connect with Chris as a sponsor on the podcast, and we wanted to go out there and film a video, so we're finally going to get to do that in Thanksgiving weekend, and hopefully get on some redheads is the moral of the story. We're really excited about the opportunity to do that.
And big shout out to Frog Talks. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, so, yeah, that sounds like that's going to be a blast for sure.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, man, buffalo heads, they got a special place in my heart, dude. Those things... Those things, everybody wants to joke around about them and just, like they don't want to throw some shade on you because they're an easy bird to shoot. But the fact of the matter is, I think everybody that has shot a buffalo head that's listening to this right now, they will say, my God, dude, I'm not taking the black clouds out to hunt buffalo heads. Because
in the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
Those suckers have a shield on, man. They do.
Oh, yeah.
If you try to shoot those little freaking butter balls off the water, those things, man, they are tough as nails. And what a fun shoot they are.
Oh, totally. My favorite part is, let alone being in the layout boat, but being in the tender boat, you got to go, you got to go pick those birds up. But if you have one that's just not dead and it dives down, you're chasing that thing for a good, we've chased them for 15 minutes before, one bird just trying, and ended up 300 yards away from the layout boat. Just like, oh shit, we got really far away.
You're like, dude, we're getting ready to be swept out to sea.
yeah, and the bird's still outdoing us, and we can't find it, and you see its head for a second, you can't get a shot off, and it's just, they are resilient little animals.
They are, man. They're tough little suckers, but boy, are they pretty. I think that they're one of the prettiest. I think just because of the contrast of the feathers. They're just, Tristan's got a beautiful one mounted over at his house, and it's just, every time I see that thing, I'm like, that's one of, you can't throw shade at a spoonie, you can't throw shade at a mallard, but or a pintail. They're all beautiful in their own rights, I guess, but man, a bufflehead's just one of those things. It's a white bird, and it's a white duck, and it's the only, I can't think of another white duck that outside of maybe a longtail.
Well, and it's
that's the only one I would. That's the only one I'd put it up with is a longtail. But yeah, they are beautiful, beautiful birds.
Yeah, and they got that rainbow kind of iridescence or whatever when they move their head in the sun. That's
pretty.
Just such a unique, feature.
Dude, I just had a vision of like a cartoon type thing. Tristan, you're probably gonna look across from me right now and go, "Dad, where are you going with this?" But dude, why can't we get,
I wonder that a lot.
Yeah. So, like the UFC fights, where they have like the interview and they take the pictures where they're standing, there's a dude in the middle that, let's be frank. He's always trying to keep the people from punching each other, but he's about 12 sizes smaller than the people that he's trying to keep from fighting, But I'm imagining somebody standing there and cartoonistic and you got a pintail and you got a long tail, and with their fists up, who wins? Who wins? It's just an underrated bird. The long tail is, just because of its availability to shoot. I think
Well, and how popular a pintail is.
Yeah.
It's just That's a good. That would be a good T-shirt idea.
That's what I'm thinking.
There you go. The back of a T-shirt. There you go.
That's right.
Well, man, Sean, we really appreciate the time tonight, man, and we definitely got to connect again at some point down the line. Tell everybody, where they can get in touch with you and follow you and Caps Ridge and all that stuff.
Yeah, so you guys can follow Caps Ridge Waterfowl on Instagram, and then I have personally Facebook and Instagram as well. It should be under Sean Piazza, Piazza. And feel free to shoot me a friend request or a follow, and I'd love to chat with whoever wants to chat. As I said earlier, I'll talk somebody's head off, especially about hunting. It's becoming more and more passion of mine every day. I think my wife can attest to that, because it's like a light switch went off, I'd say middle to late August, and now I'm addicted to it again. So.
I know it's almost like that time frame all year where you kind of like just box it out of your mind, because it's like, man, I can't really dwell on it because it's so far out. And then once it kind of, that first taste of reality hits, you're like, all right, now I'm back in.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. And you can definitely tell too, like with the group of guys that I hunt with, like pretty much the whole year, it's, we'll chat, we'll send each other Snapchats and all talk with each other and everything. But then when that switch goes on, it's constant videos, hunting videos sent, gear, this, that, and the other. And it's like, all right, when's it starting?
Yeah, no, us in the waterfowl community, we're definitely a different breed, and no, I love, like, in closing, just circling back what you talked about, the communal side of the sport. And it's an amazing thing that we can go out there and, you can put 6 people on a blind versus when you go deer hunting, you really only got a chance to maybe bring one person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to spread the sport. And I love the energy of where we're going as a whole, as an industry. It's a great thing.
Oh yeah, and if I could plug my wife's
Absolutely.
photography as well.
Yeah.
Caps Ridge Photography. Everything is Caps Ridge in our household.
There
But
you
Caps
go.
Ridge Photography. Her name is Tori Caps. Feel free to reach out to her as well. She's building her photography brand and up here in the Virginia area, but she's looking to spread out as well. Besides doing the equestrian and everything, she's into waterfowl too. So if there's any companies out there that are looking to have a photographer come in, she would definitely love to do that, or any outfitters. She was actually talking to me about it, reaching out to some outfitters the other day and seeing if they would want her to come in and do a bunch of photographs for them.
That's awesome, man. No, I think you guys should definitely explore that avenue because I think there's a lot of outfitters that just want to focus on hunting and that's what they want to do. They want to do what they're good at and kill birds.
Yeah.
So
and they're not worth a shit taking pictures because they no disrespect,
they can
y'all.
they can use somebody that has an eye for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we argue all the time with Kade, and Kade can kiss my butt right now. But belly up, belly down.
Oh God!
Oh
you just
my
opened up a
God!
Why did you do that,
Dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there's something beautiful about being able to see the
Okay,
wings.
so real quick, here's my 2 cents on it because I just saw somebody getting absolutely roasted on TikTok about this. So people, and sorry to drag you on for this, Sean.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I don't have anything going on.
Okay, so coming from the deer hunting background, one of the things that we were always big on is making the animal look as beautiful as possible when you take a picture of it. So we would always, still to this day, put the tongue back in its mouth, try to clean, just make it look beautiful. Well, that's our thing has always been, and people are like, oh yeah, you could tell who the real killers are because they put their bird's belly up. But the thing is about it is that's not, I don't care what anybody says, that's not the most beautiful aspect of a bird.
No.
Is if you, we've done pictures in the past where you have them all laying side by side, get
their wing laid out.
Yeah, you get their head, especially if they're drakes, man. And it's why would you not want to show that off? But that is a topic that I'm sure is probably 75-25 on this podcast.
Dude,
There's a lot more people that think they should just be belly up.
I've got an incredible idea. This is going to go. Listen.
As long as it's not anything like your pintail and whatever idea.
All right, but this is going to be good. This is going to blow up on TikTok. When the first deer we shoot this year, we're going to take a picture of it belly up.
Dude,
Let's do it.
dude, yes, that would be a hilarious. troll.
See now, son. Now you respect
I would want
it.
to know. I would want to know how long it takes somebody to ask you if you hit it on the side of the road.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
Because,
That's right.
Because that's what somebody. Yeah, but no, I completely agree with you on that, though. I mean, make the animal look pretty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and in all seriousness, that was one thing that I respect the elder bow hunter that taught me years ago when in early 70s really, and that was give the creature the most respect you can. I mean, that's why we mount them, right?
Yeah.
You don't get them.
Yeah, you don't mount them
belly up. Yeah, you don't. You're like, hey, you know what? I want my pintail upside down.
Yeah.
So I can see its asshole. I don't know, but no, dude. I don't care what you say. You can argue with me all day long. You'll never change my mind that you've got to show the most respectful, beautiful side of an animal possible. We wipe blood off of them. If it's gory, we don't. And for the most part, we try to avoid the headless ducks. And but with a deer, we put the tongue back in its mouth.
That's what we were just talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. Sorry, I ran to the restroom real quick, but But no, it's just giving it the most respect possible. And
Oh yeah,
I guess that could be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
yeah, it could, it could.
But
But yeah.
I'm gonna title one soon. We'll title one soon. We'll have a couple people on and be like debate belly up or belly down, or yeah,
Deer and ducks, belly up or belly down.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
All right, Sean, man, thank you so much for your time. And like I said, we'll probably be a couple weeks till we post this. But man, thank you, and it was great getting to learn about what you do, talk with Virginia waterfowl, and get to connect with you, personally, and learn about your journey.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Glad we finally got to connect and do this. And
Absolutely. Well, let's stay in touch, man. Yeah, and like I said, I'd like to, maybe later down the line just check in and do another podcast. So,
no, definitely, that would be all. Are we still?
Southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.